Did you know that decluttering can actually be more stressful for seniors than moving to a new house? Sounds surprising, right? But it's true. And today we're going to explore why. Think about it. Have you ever looked at your home and felt like there's just too much to deal with? You've probably thought about decluttering before, but what's really stopping you? The truth is, the process is often way more complicated than we realize, and it could actually change the way you approach it forever. In today's video, we're going to dive into 7 harsh truths about decluttering for seniors that no one talks about, but you need to know. These tips will help you avoid unnecessary stress, make the process smoother, and help you feel lighter mentally and physically. If you've been putting off decluttering because it feels overwhelming or just too much to handle, stick around. You'll learn how to tackle it head-on in a way that works for you. If this sounds helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tips on living your best life after 60. Let's jump into the first truth. Decluttering can trigger emotional overload. Meet Mary, a 72-year-old retired nurse who thought decluttering would be a straightforward task. She had been putting it off for years, thinking it would be just a simple matter of sorting through old clothes and throwing out things she no longer needed. But once she started, she quickly realized how much more emotional it was than she ever imagined. Mary had lived in the same house with her late husband for over 40 years. His belongings were scattered all over the house, from his old medical books on the shelf to the fishing gear he used to enjoy on weekends. Every time she touched an item, a wave of memories came rushing back. She held on to his old navy jacket, his favorite chair, and even his worn-out shoes, unsure of how to let go. The thought of parting with these items felt like she was losing him all over again. For Mary, every piece of clothing, every piece of furniture, seemed to hold some emotional weight, a part of the life they had built together. She found herself overwhelmed by the process. Decluttering, which she thought would bring a sense of relief, had instead triggered an emotional overload. It felt impossible to move forward without feeling like she was betraying his memory. First things first, if you're feeling this way, you're not alone. The emotional attachment to items is a real and valid feeling, especially when they hold memories of loved ones or significant moments. Letting go of those objects doesn't mean you're letting go of the memories, it's simply making space to move forward. The key is to acknowledge the emotional difficulty of the process. It's okay to feel sentimental or even sad. Decluttering isn't just about removing things, it's about making intentional decisions for your future and well-being. It's perfectly normal to have an emotional connection to items that carry years of history. But that doesn't mean you have to keep everything to preserve the memory. So how can you make this process a little easier on yourself? Start small. Begin with items that carry less sentimental value. Maybe it's old kitchen gadgets or clothing you haven't worn in years. These items don't carry the same emotional weight, so you can build momentum and get comfortable with the process before tackling more difficult decisions. For example, Mary started by going through her old kitchen items, spare cups, mismatched dishes, and appliances she no longer used. These things didn't stir up memories of her late husband, but still helped her get started. Once she felt comfortable with those smaller decisions, she began moving on to other areas of her home. It wasn't a fast process, but she found that as she let go of the less meaningful things, she became more open to tackling the more emotional items. Remember, you're in control of the pace. Don't rush it. Take the time you need to process your emotions. If you feel ready, set aside a specific time each day to tackle one small area. This could be a drawer, a shelf, or even just one box. Focus on making one decision at a time, rather than trying to do everything all at once. Have you ever been overwhelmed by an item you couldn't let go of? Maybe it was a piece of clothing, a gift, or something that reminded you of a loved one. It's more physically demanding than you think. When Mary started decluttering her home, she had no idea how physically demanding it would be. As a retired nurse, she spent most of her life caring for others, whether it was tending to patients at the hospital or looking after her late husband in his final years. She thought her experience with physical labor and caregiving had prepared her for anything. But the reality of decluttering hit her hard. Lifting heavy boxes, moving old furniture, and sorting through piles of belongings became more challenging than she ever expected. The physical toll of bending, reaching and hauling things around her house left her exhausted. And every time she thought she was making progress, she realized how much more work was ahead. She hadn't anticipated the back pain, stiff joints, or the sheer energy it would take to clear out years of accumulated items. Mary's story is all too familiar for many seniors who set out to declutter, thinking it will be just a simple task of sorting through things. But the truth is, decluttering can be far more physically taxing than most realize, especially when you're doing it alone. It's easy to get swept up in the idea of finally getting things in order, but your body needs to be taken into account too. If you found yourself feeling sore or worn out after just a few hours of decluttering, it's important to recognize that you're not overreacting. It's a real physical challenge. The good news is there are ways to make the process less taxing on your body and more manageable. 1. Take breaks. First and foremost, don't overdo it. Take frequent breaks to rest and recharge. If you're feeling physically worn out, step away from the task for a while. Decluttering isn't a race, and pacing yourself will not only keep you from getting physically exhausted, but it will also help you maintain focus and energy for the long haul. You can also break your decluttering sessions into smaller chunks, maybe 30 minutes a day, with a break in between, instead of trying to tackle everything in one go. 2. Delegate or hire help for heavy lifting. If the physical demands are too much, consider asking family members or friends for help. If you don't have someone nearby, hiring a local service to assist with heavy lifting or moving large furniture might be a worthwhile investment. There's no shame in asking for help, and sometimes having someone else handle the physical strain will make the process feel much more manageable. 3. Use the one box method. Rather than trying to tackle an entire room or closet, start with just one box, one drawer, or one shelf. It might seem small, but focusing on one area at a time will make it less overwhelming. The key is not to overextend yourself by trying to handle everything in a single session. Start with one manageable task, and then decide if you're ready to move on to the next one. The smaller the task, the less strain it puts on your body. For example, Mary decided to tackle the garage first. She started with just one box of old holiday decorations. Instead of trying to clear everything out in a few hours, she spent a few days going through it in short bursts. Slowly but surely, she made progress without overexerting herself. 4. Stay mindful of your posture. When you're decluttering, be mindful of your posture. Bending over for long periods of time or reaching high shelves can strain your back, neck and shoulders. Try to squat instead of bending at the waist, and use a step stool or ladder for hard-to-reach places. If something feels too heavy or awkward to move, don't risk injuring yourself. Ask for help or leave it for later. By acknowledging your physical limits and pacing yourself, you can make decluttering a less stressful and more enjoyable process. It's all about taking care of yourself while you take care of your home. Have you felt the physical strain of decluttering? Maybe it was moving that heavy couch or lifting a box full of books. What's been the toughest part of the process for you? Tell us in the comments below. Let's share tips and experiences to help each other out. It's easy to get stuck in sentimentality. As Mary continued her decluttering journey, she found herself caught in the grip of sentimentality. It wasn't just the furniture and personal items she struggled with. Mary had accumulated a collection of old medical supplies, gifts and cards over her years as a nurse. Each item held a special memory or connection to her career, her patients, and the people she had cared for. There was the old stethoscope that had been with her through countless shifts, the thank you cards from patients she had helped recover, and even gifts from her co-workers over the years. As Mary sifted through these objects, she felt a deep connection to each one. The stethoscope reminded her of the lives she had touched, the patients she had helped, and the hard work she had put into her nursing career. Each card, each trinket, carried with it a story, a moment frozen in time. And while she knew she didn't need all of these things anymore, the idea of letting go felt like erasing a part of who she was and what she had done. It wasn't just about clutter. It was about memories, identity, and the fear of losing something important. Mary's situation is a common one for many seniors. As we age, we accumulate more than just physical items. We gather memories and stories that are wrapped up in objects. The thought of discarding anything with emotional significance can feel overwhelming, as if we are discarding part of ourselves. It's easy to get stuck in sentimentality, especially when the things you're holding on to carry such emotional weight. However, holding on to everything isn't necessary to preserve the memories. There are ways to keep the emotional connection without cluttering your home with items that no longer serve a purpose. 1. Take photos of sentimental items. One of the best ways to keep the memory of an item without physically keeping it is to take a photo. Instead of holding on to every card, every piece of medical equipment, or every small gift, consider photographing them. This allows you to preserve the memory of the item and the significance it holds, without it taking up valuable space in your home. For example, Mary took photos of all the thank you cards from her patients, and the photos brought back the same emotions and memories that holding the cards did. The stethoscope, while no longer needed for work, had served its purpose, but she snapped a picture to honor her career. The memories stayed intact, but her physical space became much lighter. 2. It's okay to let go of things that no longer serve a purpose. While sentimental items can hold deep meaning, it's important to acknowledge that not everything needs to be kept forever. Some items may have served their purpose for a season in your life, but no longer hold value in the present. Letting go of things doesn't mean you're forgetting the memories. It simply means you're creating space for new experiences and a more manageable environment. It's perfectly fine to let go of things that no longer serve a practical purpose. Mary realized that while the stethoscope had been an essential part of her nursing life, it was no longer relevant to her daily routine. It was hard at first, but by taking a photo and donating it to a nursing museum, she felt she was honoring its place in her life without holding on to it physically. The memories tied to sentimental items live in your heart, not in the clutter. You can still hold on to those memories through the stories you share and the photos you take, while letting go of the physical items that might weigh you down. 3. Prioritize the items that truly matter. You don't have to let go of everything. Focus on keeping only the items that truly matter, those that are irreplaceable or have deep sentimental value. For Mary, this meant keeping the letters from her family or the small keepsakes that reminded her of the people she cared about most. By narrowing down what she truly wanted to keep, she could let go of the excess without feeling guilty. 4. Create a memory box. For the items that you can't bear to part with, consider creating a memory box. This could be a simple container where you store the most meaningful items that remind you of your past. By keeping just the essentials, you can keep the memories alive while reducing the clutter in your home. By finding a balance between keeping the memories and letting go of the physical items, you'll make the decluttering process less overwhelming and more meaningful. It's about respecting both your past and your present, holding on to what's truly important while making space for the future. Do you find it hard to let go of sentimental items? Maybe it's an old letter or a gift that means a lot to you. Let us know what you can't part with and why. Let's share our stories and support each other through this process. As Mary continued her decluttering journey, a wave of guilt washed over her each time she let go of something that held sentimental value, especially items that reminded her of her late husband. There was his old watch, the one he wore every day, and the comfortable sweater he'd kept for years. There were photos of the two of them during their travels and little mementos from their life together. Each item represented a moment, a piece of the love and memories they'd shared. Mary had spent so many years caring for him, and now, after his passing, letting go of anything that had belonged to him felt like she was betraying his memory. The thought of parting with these items made her feel as though she was dishonoring the life they'd built together. In her mind, if she let them go, it would be like forgetting him. She wondered if it was wrong to declutter these items, especially when they held so much emotional weight. This kind of guilt is common for many seniors as they begin to declutter after losing a loved one. It's easy to feel that letting go of possessions tied to someone who's no longer around is like losing a part of them. But the truth is, it's okay to move forward and make room for new chapters in life while still holding on to the memories that matter most. Feeling guilty about letting go of sentimental items is natural, but it's important to remind yourself that decluttering doesn't mean you're erasing memories. It means you're making space for new ones. Here are a few ways to help manage those feelings of guilt and move through the process with grace. 1. Talk through your emotions. One of the most helpful ways to manage guilt is to talk about it. Sit down with a family member or a close friend who understands what you're going through and express how you feel. Sharing your emotions can help relieve some of the pressure you're feeling and make the decluttering process feel less isolating. They can remind you that it's okay to move forward and that the memories you're holding onto will always stay with you, even if the items don't. Mary found comfort in talking to her daughter, who reassured her that she wasn't letting go of her husband's memory. She was honoring it by allowing the space to breathe and bring in new experiences. Her daughter reminded her that her husband would never want her to feel trapped by things, but rather to enjoy her life and find peace in moving forward. 2. Pass on items to younger family members. If you're feeling guilty about letting go of things, consider passing them on to younger family members who might appreciate them. This can give you peace of mind, knowing that the items you're parting with will be cherished by someone who holds a connection to them. Whether it's a grandchild who loves their grandparents' jewelry or a niece who's interested in your collection of books, passing things on ensures that the sentimental value continues, just in a different form. Mary decided to pass on her husband's watch to their son, who had always admired it. He was thrilled to receive it, and Mary was relieved to know that the watch would stay within the family, keeping her husband's memory alive for future generations. 3. Donate to a cause that will appreciate them. Another option is donating items to a cause or charity that can appreciate them. This way, the items you're letting go of can continue to bring value to others. For example, Mary had several nurses' uniforms and medical supplies that were still in good condition. Instead of letting them sit unused, she donated them to a nursing school where they could be used by students learning to care for others. This gave Mary a sense of purpose, knowing her husband's items were helping future generations of healthcare professionals. Donating items allows you to feel good about letting go, knowing that they'll benefit others. Plus, it can provide a sense of closure, knowing that the items won't just be discarded, they'll be put to good use. 4. Remember, it's okay to let go. The most important thing to remember is that it's okay to let go. Your loved ones wouldn't want you to be burdened by guilt over things that no longer serve you. You're not forgetting them. You're just choosing to cherish the memories in a way that fits your current life. Allowing yourself to release items that no longer hold meaning or purpose doesn't erase the love and connection you shared. It simply makes room for new opportunities to create more beautiful memories. Have you ever felt guilty about letting go of an item that holds sentimental value? Maybe it was something that reminded you of a loved one or a special time in your life. How did you handle it? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's support each other through this emotional process. You need a clear plan. Without one, it's just a mess. When Mary started her decluttering project, she thought it would be a straightforward task. Just sort through her things and decide what to keep and what to let go of. But soon, her simple plan turned into complete chaos. She found herself surrounded by piles of clothes, books, old medical supplies, and keepsakes from her career as a nurse. She was so focused on sorting through everything that she didn't realize the mess was getting bigger and more overwhelming by the minute. Instead of feeling accomplished, she felt stressed and lost, unsure of where to even begin. Mary quickly realized that without a clear plan, decluttering can feel like an endless cycle of picking things up and setting them back down, only to create more piles of things to deal with later. It's easy to become disoriented and frustrated if there's no system in place to help guide the process. A cluttered home can quickly lead to a cluttered mind, so it's essential to have a clear plan in place before diving into decluttering. Here's a simple, effective approach that will help you stay organized and motivated. 1. Decide what stays, what goes, and what gets donated. The first step is to create 3 categories for everything you own: keep, donate, and discard. This simple categorization will help you avoid decision fatigue and keep your focus clear. If something has been sitting unused for a while, or if it no longer serves a purpose in your life, it may belong in the donate or discard pile. If it's something you truly cherish or need, it stays in the keep pile. By physically separating items into clear categories, you'll feel more organized and in control. 2. Tackle one room at a time. Instead of trying to declutter the entire house all at once, which can be overwhelming, focus on one room at a time. Start with an area that's manageable and work your way through it. As you finish each room, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that will keep you motivated to continue. For example, you could start with a small area like the closet or a drawer, then move on to larger spaces like the living room or kitchen. Mary quickly realized that trying to declutter the entire house at once wasn't working for her. After feeling overwhelmed, she decided to take it one room at a time. This allowed her to concentrate on one task at a time and actually see progress, which helped keep her motivated to continue. 3. Set time limits for each task. To avoid feeling overwhelmed, set a timer for each decluttering session, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, and stick to it. This helps prevent burnout and ensures that you don't spend the whole day on one project. Knowing that you have a set amount of time makes the task feel more manageable, and it will help you stay on track without getting sidetracked by other tasks. 4. Ask yourself, does this serve me? If you're unsure about an item, ask yourself, does this serve me right now? If the answer is no, it's time to let go of it. The goal of decluttering is not to hold on to things out of guilt or obligation, but to keep only those items that truly enhance your life. Whether it's a piece of furniture, a collection, or a stack of old papers, if it's not contributing to your current life, it's just taking up space. Do you prefer a step-by-step plan when decluttering, or do you like to just dive in? Let us know how you organize your efforts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what works best for you. Decluttering can impact your social life. As Mary dove deeper into her decluttering project, she became so absorbed in the task that she began missing out on social events and family gatherings. She had started with good intentions, organizing her home for a more peaceful, stress-free environment. But the reality was that hours of sorting and cleaning were consuming her time. Soon, she found herself skipping out on coffee dates with old friends, family dinners, and even visits from her grandchildren. The more she focused on her clutter, the more isolated she felt. What was supposed to bring clarity and calm had ironically left her feeling disconnected from the people she cared about the most. As the days passed, it started to dawn on her that decluttering, though important, shouldn't come at the expense of relationships. Her home was still a work in progress, but her social life, which was once filled with laughter and connection, was now slipping away. Decluttering is an important task, but it's equally important to maintain balance and not let it take over your life. Here's how you can avoid the same trap Mary found herself in. 1. Set aside time for social activities. Make sure that decluttering doesn't monopolize your entire day. Schedule breaks throughout your decluttering sessions to engage in social activities. Whether it's a quick phone call to a friend, a video chat with a family member, or meeting a neighbor for a walk, staying connected with others will help you feel more balanced and less isolated. 2. Invite friends or family to help. Decluttering doesn't have to be a solo activity. Invite friends or family members over to help you with the task. Not only will this make the process go faster, but it can also be a fun way to spend time together. If they're not able to physically help, they can keep you company while you work, making the experience more enjoyable and less lonely. Mary, for example, realized that her son and daughter-in-law were happy to help. Not only did they assist her with moving some of the heavier boxes, but they also shared a few laughs while reminiscing over old photos and keepsakes. The task became less of a chore and more of a bonding experience. 3. Don't be afraid to take a break. If you're feeling overwhelmed or isolated, it's okay to take a break from decluttering and go enjoy a social outing. You can always pick up where you left off the next day. Taking these moments for yourself not only provides much-needed rest, but also helps you stay emotionally and mentally balanced throughout the process. 4. Join a group or class. If you're feeling particularly isolated, joining a group or a class, whether it's for decluttering tips, a hobby, or fitness, can offer the perfect opportunity to interact with others while still making progress on your goals. It could be a local book club, a gardening group, or even a senior fitness class. These social outlets will help you maintain connections while also giving you the motivation to keep moving forward. Has decluttering ever made you feel isolated? How do you balance it with your social life? Share your tips and thoughts below in the comments. We'd love to hear how you manage to stay connected while getting things in order. It can be a powerful path to renewed energy and clarity. After weeks of sorting through memories and belongings, Mary finally tackled the clutter that had taken over her home. The boxes were gone, the piles of old papers and knickknacks were sorted, and her living room, once overwhelmed by stuff, felt lighter. As she stood in her newly organized space, she noticed something incredible. Not only did her home feel fresher, but she also felt a renewed sense of energy and clarity. It was as if the clutter had been weighing down more than just her physical space. It had also clouded her mind. With each item she let go of, Mary felt as though she was shedding an old layer, rediscovering parts of herself she hadn't even realized were buried beneath the clutter. The space around her felt more open, and she was suddenly more willing to take on new projects, to call friends more often, and to enjoy her home in ways she hadn't in years. Decluttering, Mary realized, wasn't just about cleaning up. It was about clearing the way for new possibilities and a fresh outlook on life. Decluttering can do wonders for your physical and mental well-being. It's not just about cleaning up. It's about creating space for new experiences and opportunities. Here's how you can experience the same transformation Mary did. 1. See it as a fresh start. Every time you clear out an old drawer or organize a closet, think of it as making space for something new. Decluttering is a way of letting go of the old so you can welcome in fresh experiences, new ideas, or even a new perspective on life. By reducing the physical clutter, you can create emotional space for clarity and new opportunities, whether it's picking up a new hobby, reconnecting with friends, or just feeling more in control of your environment. 2. Boost your mental health. A cluttered environment can contribute to stress and anxiety. Studies show that a clean, organized space can have a positive impact on your mental health, helping you feel more relaxed and focused. By decluttering, you're not just organizing your physical environment, you're also organizing your thoughts and emotions. You'll find that you have more mental energy to devote to things that matter most to you. 3. Reclaim your space. Your home should be a place where you feel at ease and inspired, not overwhelmed by things that no longer serve you. When you declutter, you make room for more peace and tranquility. This can lead to a more enjoyable, comfortable living space, which in turn can improve your overall well-being. You'll be amazed at how a few changes in your surroundings can boost your mood and sense of control. 4. Embrace new opportunities. Once your home feels lighter and your mind feels clearer, you'll find that you're more open to new possibilities. Maybe you'll feel inspired to start that gardening project you've always dreamed of. Or perhaps you'll decide to take up painting or join a local book club. Whatever it is, decluttering has a way of making you feel more empowered to take action and seize new opportunities. Do you think decluttering could help you feel more at peace? Let us know your thoughts and how you think a clutter-free environment could change your life. Share your ideas below. Decluttering isn't always easy, especially for seniors, but it's worth it. Today, we explored the 7 harsh truths about decluttering, like the emotional challenges, the physical demands, and the need for a clear plan. We also shared practical solutions to make the process smoother, from starting small to embracing help from loved ones. Remember, decluttering is about progress, not perfection. Even small steps can lead to big changes. Decluttering isn't just about clearing out your home, it's about making room for peace, clarity, and the things that truly matter in your life. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with someone who might need a little extra decluttering inspiration. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical advice to help you live your best life after 60.